What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be trying to get a draw in UFC 4. I had a comment, I can't find the comment, but we're going to be trying to get a draw. There is many ways to win inside martial arts, and specifically the UFC. You can win by KO.
To get the big knockout win. All right, let's get you some replays now. Certainly a lot for our replay guys to work with in the truck. This was a clinic tonight in terms of mixed martial arts acumen in every realm of the game.
A full-on...
You can win by submission.
You are never safe when you're fighting this guy. You're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble the entire time when you're this.
You can win by decision, unanimous, split, majority. But also, you can have a draw. It's very unlikely. It doesn't happen very often, but it is a possibility. UFC 4 is missing a lot of features, and I was really hoping that it wouldn't miss an outcome feature. Someone did ask me to, so I thought we would give it a go. So let's find out if we can. So for starters, I needed to decide how many rounds each fighter needs to win out of 3 rounds to get a draw. I've done some math. Like I said, I did some math, and my initial idea obviously was 10-9, 10-9. That's a draw going into the third, which is then impossible to finish on a draw because the winning fighter needs at least to get a 10. So that is impossible. I then thought of 10-8 rounds. 10-8 and 10-8 is 18-18. Also impossible going into the third. Right, so then, stay with me here, guys. This is pretty high IQ stuff. I realised 10-8 to the blue corner, or red corner, doesn't really matter, but I just for now, 10-8 to the blue corner, then a 10-9 to the red corner. I've read it like that so the math is easy to follow. In going to the second round would be 19-18 to the blue corner. Then with another 10-9 round to red, it would be 28-28, which would be a draw. 200 IQ plays. So, we know the math, we figured it out. It took many moons to figure this out, and now we have to pull it off. A 10-8 round is based on dominance, obviously, but also a knockdown in boxing will give any fighter a 10-8 round. With obviously the UFC judges being as inconsistent as they are, I figured the best bet would be to knock down the fighter 2, 3, or 4 times, and then have top control the whole rest of the first round. The game has never given a 10-7 as far as I know, and for all these tests, it never gave a 10-7. So I figured out the perfect recipe, pretty much, how to get a 10-8 every time. A 10-9 is dead simple. All you got to do is outstrike your opponent. We have 4 tests here. I've chose 4 of the many tests I've done, and I'm going to show you guys them right now. So let's get into it. So the first fight, I decided to go with Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. Obviously, so the first round would be Conor McGregor dominates Max by getting several knockdowns, as you'll see here, and then holding top mount pretty much the entire fight. And that's how the first round was going to play out. That was my thought process. If I can get 4 knockdowns, or at least 3, without knocking my opponent out, I can easily get a 10-8 round, because 3 knockdowns has easily got to be a 10-8 round, especially when the other opponent doesn't fight back at all. So then, as you see here, literally for 4 minutes, Conor McGregor held top mount. The ref doesn't stand you up as long as you're mounted up, so that worked pretty much perfectly here. At the end of each round, I want to see stats to make sure everything looked okay. Unfortunately, you can't see the judges' scorecards during the fight, which was a bit bizarre to me. But you can see there, Conor McGregor, 30 strikes to Max 0. Definitely a 10-8 round. So the second round I started with, Max was never going to knock down Conor, just in case the game was a bit jammy, and decided to push for a 10-8 for Max. So I just thought if Max can outstrike Conor pretty severely to make sure it's a 10-9 round, no knockdowns, maybe a takedown or 2, then it will definitely be a 10-9 round, but not dominant enough to be a 10-8 round. So you see that I get a takedown for Max. Max outstrikes a little bit, stand back up, and Max just carries on landing a few shots. I thought I'd land a few shots with McGregor to make sure it wouldn't be a 10-8, so it wasn't a complete disaster. And I made Conor McGregor miss quite a few shots as well, just so his accuracy was poor, so the judges would think, well, he'd done nothing significant, so we can't give it a 10-8. We can't give it to McGregor, but we also can't give Max a 10-8 because the round was not that dominant. He was not rocked at any point or knocked down at any point. That was my thought process behind that anyways. So obviously, as you see there, we now start the third round. Obviously, Conor won the first round. Max easily won the second round, as you see there. And then we go into the third round and pretty much repeat the process again and again. That was pretty much my idea, that this would be a perfect, flawless draw that I could achieve here. But then obviously I did land 3 strikes for McGregor, which might have been a bit of a mistake. I did think halfway through this, but I thought, you know what? There's no way they can give these rounds to McGregor, especially not these last 2, because there's no way he won either of these rounds. It's just it's just impossible. It is literally impossible that he won those rounds. Landing 3 strikes to Max's 30 is just not even in the realm of possibility. It's actually not possible. So I made sure that Max mixed his strikes up, landed kicks to the leg, punches to the body, punches to the head, mixed up. McGregor landed a few strikes there and missed quite a few as well, just to make sure that the round wasn't dominant and didn't look like Conor missed or didn't land any strikes at all. So there was no 10-8, which is what I then finished the round. We both then just stood there. Max pretty much held center octagon for most of it, and that was pretty much it. So now we go to the judges' scorecards. I was quite confident in this, and then McGregor got the decision. Okay, he got a majority decision, which means 2 judges gave him the win. So what does that mean about the 3rd judge? As you see here, guys, wait for me to scroll through. McGregor won that round, Max won that round, and Max won that round. 28-28 for judge number 3, but 29-28 for judge 1 and 2. So then for the next 2 fights, we're just going to show you guys the decisions here. I pretty much done the same thing, and yet again was robbed of a draw. The last decision will blow you guys' mind here. The 3rd decision will blow your mind here, but this one I landed very, very minimal strikes in the 2nd and 3rd round with the other fighters to not get a 10-8. So as you guys see there, the overall scorecards. Paulo Costa easily won the 1st round 10-8. The 2nd round, he only landed 2 strikes, and the 3rd round, he landed 4. And he still won 29-28 on 2 of the judges' scorecards. 1 judge giving him a draw, which is what we wanted. It always needs to be judge number 3 giving the draw, and judge 1 and 2 giving him the decision. So then I figured, okay, I will do it where I land literally nothing with either fighter, or borderline just 1 strike, and see what happens in the next fight, because this just, I must be doing something wrong, surely. So then I done Stipe versus Jones, obviously giving a 10-8, I believe, to Jones at the start, and then 2 10-9 rounds to Stipe, I'm pretty sure is what the order I done it in. Yet again, Stipe wins by decision, which just made no sense to me. I replicated the 10-8 round perfectly the same every single time. I think this one I nailed perfectly, because the game, as you see here, so as you see there, the decision, John Jones easily 10-8, 4 knockdowns 1st round. 2nd round we go on to, Stipe won that one 10-9, and yet 29-28 across all of the judges' scorecards, which means they didn't give Jones the 10-8 round at the start. So obviously I must have done something where the game just said, no, that doesn't count. And honestly, I'm so confused. So I had one more final idea on how to get this draw. So my final attempt to get this draw was using Khabib and Dustin Poirier. It was to knock Dustin Poirier down 4 times, as usual. That's normally the 10-8 consensus, other than the Stipe John Jones fight. We got easy knockdowns first couple of minutes, you know, just dropped him quickly. Didn't want to knock him out, so I was trying to land big, heavy shots. And then obviously get a takedown and hold him in top mount for the remaining 3 minutes. I literally was landing a few shots every like 15 seconds just to rack those numbers up a little bit more. As you see here in the last 10 seconds, we were still on top. I had 1 more shot just for good luck. The 2nd and 3rd round was then going to be Dustin's, where he would throw a lot. The first minute, pretty much, I just used consistent combos all the time just to land as many shots as possible without injuring Khabib too much. You know, leg, body, head, things like that. And then I thought maybe octagon control will help. So I had Khabib against the cage and pretty much just held him at this point. And obviously got a few takedowns in there as well. Pretty much got up immediately after getting those takedowns, just because that made more sense. Than I didn't want to hold him control too much, because I didn't want to get a 10-8 round for Dustin, and then it be a tie going into the 3rd round, and then Dustin ends up winning, which would be very frustrating. This was pretty much my best bet, and what I done differently in this one is I literally made Khabib throw nothing. He did not hold no octagon control. He did not throw a single punch. He done nothing. As you see, we're now in the 3rd round. We literally pulled off the same thing again. Went for a takedown, got the takedown, landed a good amount of series of strikes using Dustin. Just beat Khabib up so that the 2nd and 3rd round would both be 10-9. It seemed pretty simple to do. It's weird as well that the judge 3 keeps scoring at a draw and the judge 1. I don't know how it's not possible that the commentators even mention a possibility of a draw, which is very bizarre. But yeah, usually I'm just dicing him up, landing as many strikes as possible, really making sure I don't lose these rounds. You know, I'm landing a lot of strikes on him, really mixing it up. Really don't want Poirier. I'm really making sure Poirier cannot lose this round, or lose either of these rounds. I'm throwing so many shots. I'm being so busy for the first minute and a half. I'm really making sure it is impossible for him to lose. So we come to the end of the fight, the final decision. Obviously the first round was 10-8, then 10-9. 10-9 is how it would be scored in anyone's mind. And you'll see the decision here is just disappointing, man. I cannot believe there is not a draw in this game. I'm sorry for the spoiler, but you guys will see who wins here. And Khabib wins somehow. He won the first round and then it ended up... I mean, I'll show you the fight statistics here, guys, so you can see there. Khabib won 51 strikes, nothing. And Dustin... I literally... 28-28, judge 3. 29-28, 29-28. That means one of the judges gave Khabib round 2 or 3. He threw and landed nothing in round 2 and 3. And yet he still won 2 of these rounds. I don't see how it can not have a draw. I am really disappointed in it, to be honest. I'm really disappointed. But that is just the way it is, man. It's a little feature, but things like that are why people slate the game. Not the pro players, but things like this are why people slate the game to fuckery. Because it's missing basic things. Elbows from guard. Draws. Like, what the... How is that possible to miss that? But, you know, is what it is, guys. But this was a really funny video to make, and I really did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun editing it. I had a lot of fun making it in every way. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below. And yeah, let me know if there's anything you guys want to see me take on. I've obviously tried the slam KO, the draws, the calf kick TKO. So let me know if there's anything you want to see me try. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.